last resort.
Now, I have a question, and we've spoken briefly about it because we know each other in our attorney circles. But I have a question for those that go through the bankruptcy process. I've heard you guys talk about, repeat offenders, the ones that come back. And I'm assuming this is a trend, with all bankruptcy attorneys across the country. Do you have, and it sounds like you're already a little bit different. How do you approach your client to help them not become a repeat offender?
That is a great question, Kat. So a couple of things. I sit down with them and have the conversation that we were talking about earlier about living within your means. It blows my mind every day how many people don't balance a checkbook or how many people don't make a budget. When you ask somebody, how much is your cell phone bill? They don't really know, because a lot of people they have their direct deposit going into their account, and Verizon or AT&T takes the money out, and around $100. Well, would it surprise you to know that it's now 215 because you weren't paying attention and there's these extra fees and blah blah blah. So one of the things that we do here at my office is make sure that we do a budget before and after the bankruptcy. So we look at what was going on before that caused this problem, and then we make another budget with what we should be doing in the future. And generally speaking, people who follow that budget and still have consistent income don't run into the problem again. However, it is unfortunate. There are folks that can't follow the budget, or a lot of the repeat offenders or the repeat filers that I see is not as a result of their own demise, right? It's not something that they've done. They don't run up their credit cards, right? There's this belief that people that file bankruptcy are terrible people because they just went out and they spent all this money on their credit cards and they can't afford it and they should have known better and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That exists. But that is a small percentage from what I see. That is a small percentage of the people that need bankruptcy help. You know who really needs bankruptcy help? People whose jobs close and get shipped overseas. People who are in an accident and they get workers' compensation, but workers' compensation isn't the same amount you were making before. And, if you're single and you're on workers' compensation, maybe you can scale back your lifestyle. But guess what? Just because you're injured at home doesn't mean your wife and your 3 kids don't have to go to work and softball and eat and all of those things. So there are so many good people who just find themselves jammed up through no fault of their own, like an accident or an injury at work, or a car accident or something of that nature.
Right. Right. And it
Medical
sneaks up
bills.
on you, medical bills, all of those
Oh,
things.
the medical bills are outrageous. Even if you have insurance, sometimes, if you're in a car accident or you have an injury at work, those things are usually covered by, your health insurance, and then secondary auto insurance or workers' compensation insurance. But illness isn't, right? Somebody has a heart attack. Even if you have insurance, you can still walk away from the hospital with a $30,000 copay bill.
Yeah.
It's and that can be crushing to somebody who's got a family of 4 or a family of 5 living on one income, or maybe zero income, depending upon how that illness has affected your family.
Yeah.
And I guess we're seeing a lot of that now, with COVID, sadly I've shared with you a few of my friends have passed, and just quick, one friend of mine, 10 days, it's terrible. And, like you said, the medical bills still show up
Right.
afterwards. It's like, oh yes, we're sorry for your loss. By the way, here's the $10,000 bill for the week. So yeah, that definitely is something that I agree with you. I don't think most people are gaming the system, trying to use bankruptcy to get out of jail free, so to speak. I think for the most part, it's people who maybe were living on the edge, and just one little rock,
Right.
can knock them completely out of kilter.
Mike, most of our country lives paycheck to paycheck, and those who don't live month to month. There are very few people that have 3, 6, 9 months worth of savings in the bank, and obviously even fewer that have $500,000 in the bank to fall back on. But there are very few families in this country, and I don't know the percentage, but I've heard the statistics, and it's a really small percentage of families that have 6 months worth of expenses in the bank. That, like, it's a single digit percentage.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not part of our culture to save and plan for the future. It's,
It's a
enjoy
part
it
of our
now,
culture to
buy
keep
it.
up with the Joneses.
Yep.